The Reed team from Charter One is back with me, and today it is Tom Reed and Andy Reed. And welcome, gentlemen. It's good to see you, Tom. It's been a little while since we've seen you, so good to see you again.
Good to see
you. And we're going to
Betsy.
start with a question for you, and that is, we're kind of in this crazy market, as we keep talking about. People are getting multiple offers, they're getting over asked, maybe even in some cases, they're going to buy a house where it might not even appraise for that value at this point. And so kind of that word, are we heading into a bubble like we did, a little over a decade ago, is kind of being bandied about. Is there any truth to that, do you think?
Well, if I answer honestly, I don't know.
Right.
Only time's going to tell. I do know this. The fundamentals are different now than, the last bubble we were in was 2004, 2005. And that was created by risky lending practices.
Right.
You don't have any of that going on. I mean, it's true that we're seeing unprecedented numbers, but we're in an economy that overall, I mean, there are segments that are hurting, and I don't want to minimize that, but overall, the economy is doing well. Interest rates remain low. You have COVID has had a real impact. Yeah. Social scientists have already pointed out that there was already a migration pattern out of cities into suburbs. Well, that has been accelerated, and by some articles I've read, by up to 20 years. Yeah. And so you couple that with an infusion at the end of the day of $6 trillion into the economy. One man's bubble is another man's inflation,
Right,
so.
Right. But I do think it's encouraging that, we haven't gone back to those shady lending practices. So hopefully we're going to kind of be a little more stable as we go through these uncharted times. And so let's talk a little bit about that. What do you see for the rest of 2021?
So, like he just said, I mean, nobody has a crystal ball. I think a big part of this is many of the factors he said. The low interest rates, the people. There are people who can pay cash,
right?
But they may want to get a loan just because the rates are so good and they feel like they can make more on their money elsewhere. I don't see. So typically, our January and Februarys historically have been slower, and then when March, April hit, we really ramp up. Yeah. It's been unprecedented what has been happening this early part of the year. Yeah. I don't see, unless something dramatic triggers an event or whatever, I just don't see it. I don't see any factors that are saying we're about to put the brakes on. Yeah. Again, only time will tell. I also think a big part of it, as we may have discussed before, people being able to work outside of their office place because of COVID. They know they can do different things in an environment that is not the workplace. Yeah. And they're going, and I also think that people are going, I think people are finding out when you look at, Hilton Head is truly a unique and wonderful place in this area, okay?
Yes.
And you're gonna see people like, you see values like in a place like Naples. The numbers are pretty big there. And ultimately, I think people are finding out that we may have been undervalued for quite some time.
That's true.
And we're starting to see this rush.
Which is great.
It is great.
Economy here. And so we've got about 50 seconds left. I know you do have a listing you'd like to share with us in Windmill Harbor, so tell us all about that.
Yeah, so 75 Harbor Passage. This is a beautiful home, over 7,000 square feet, overlooking the Intracoastal Waterway. I mean, literally, you go on the back porch and you can see from the Hilton Head Bridge all the way down to the lighthouse.
Nice.
So this particular property is located on 1.5 lots, so it's a townhome. And unlike most townhomes only have windows front and back. You also have side windows, which makes it light and bright. But
gorgeous.
But it is a absolutely spectacular home.
Good looking house.
Yeah, and third floor is dedicated entirely to the master, so you have wonderful views when you wake up.
Elevator.
Elevator, top to bottom, and the second floor dedicated to the living space, and then the rest of the bedrooms on the bottom. But it is spectacular. It won the Lighthouse Award for Best House and Best Kitchen the year it was built.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, for being with us and for your insights and that great listing, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.
All right, thanks.